Hello everyone. Welcome to Basic Academic English 2 in the spring semester. My name is Minjuan Cai. You can just call me Miss Cai. I'm your instructor in this video. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most critical decisions which will affect the 4 years you spend at NPTU, which is your choice of academic subject to major in. I'm curious to learn more about my students. Can you share with me the reasons why you decided to become a visual art major instead of chemistry? What about those of you who chose big data? What were some of the factors which made you pursue this subject? No matter which major you chose to specialize in at NPTU, I hope this was a decision which was made carefully through understanding of the unique individual that you are and deep reflection about the future you envision. If you don't know what the word envision means, this is a good time to add it to your vocabulary bank. Tell me, what do you see yourself doing 10 years into the future? Some of you may tell me, Miss Cai, I will be working at a successful job. Others may say, I will have a wonderful family with the person I love by the time I'm 28. That's all great. You all just share with me how you envision, in other words, see what lies ahead in life for you. Anyway, back to choice of academic subject. To help you brainstorm the reasons for choosing your academic subject in greater detail, I'm going to share with everyone my own story of how I chose my academic major back in college. It runs in the family. My major in college, National 政治 University, abbreviated as NCCU, was English Language and Literature. I really do believe that family background plays a critical role in a person's development. In my case, I was influenced by my father from a young age. As a college English teacher himself, I grew up listening to conversations about how today's English class went with his students. Naturally, this made me predisposed to be like my parents. In English, when we say that someone is predisposed to do something, this means that they are likely to do something without someone telling them to do so. My parents never told me, Minjuan, you must study English in college. But I was already willing to do so due to my family influence. Growing up in an English-speaking environment made me naturally inclined towards the subject. What about you? Did you choose your major because one of your parents is also working in the field that you are currently studying? Learn how to think. As an English major at NCCU, the professional training that I went through was rigorous. In literature classes, I learned to analyze original text. This practice helped me develop critical thinking skills, which was one of the reasons that I chose to become an English major. Technically speaking, college students are adults, as they were over 18 years old. However, some students lack the ability to come up with ideas to explain their perspectives when asked a simple question. I did not want that to happen to me. Nevertheless, developing critical thinking skills, in other words, learning how to think, is not an easy ability to foster. Through the literature classes in NCCU, I worked on formulating ideas to support arguments when interpreting the text for themes, symbols, and character analysis. Although the process was demanding, with essays expected instead of final exams, this continued practice helped me become an independent thinker. I did not want to blindly follow the masses and do what everyone is doing. If you don't know what the word masses mean, let me explain to you what it means in this context. Okay, this word actually has several meanings. Used in this context, I don't want to follow the masses. The meaning can be inferred from what everyone is doing. So what is it that I don't want to follow? Masses here is another word for everyone. Language as a tool. From an early age, I kept hearing adults around me discussing the importance of learning English well. In today's global society, English is the lingua franca of the world. By majoring in English at NCCU, this allowed me to strengthen the 4 skills of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Before entering NCCU, I had heard that the coursework in the English department was demanding. In terms of reading skills, I learned to quickly pick out the main ideas of articles on different subjects. In terms of listening ability, exposure to authentic materials on the daily news in Taiwan through the ICRT radio station improved my understanding of events happening around me. In class, I was asked to speak in front of my peers to introduce the topic of research papers. Through this practice, I learned to talk confidently and fluently in English. I recall that my writing class was one of the most challenging but rewarding course that I took as an English major. Many of my classmates developed stomach aches before class as they tried to prepare themselves for the excruciating task of reading anonymous feedback from peers on their essay. Okay, so I used the word excruciating to talk about the task of receiving criticism from classmates. Let's think about it. My dear audience, what would you feel if you read feedback in class from the person sitting 2 seats away from you, saying, "This writing is unclear and not interesting at all"? Most individuals would not feel so great. It's a normal response to being criticized. Nobody likes to read negative feedback. Therefore, this is what I mean as excruciating process. In other words, it's painful. However, as a writer, This helps you understand your weaknesses. The next time you write, this will be an area where improvement will be focused on. Love of reading. Before deciding to be an English major in college, I had heard many senior brothers and sisters express frustration over not being able to finish the assigned reading on time. In a literature class, the typical workload is 30 pages of all English text with no Chinese translation. Unlike other peers, the amount of reading was one of the factors that influenced my decision to study English at NCCU during college. George R.R. Martin, the author of the international best-selling series Game of Thrones, once said, "A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one." Very well said. Reading exposes a person to a variety of ideas. At NCCU, novels such as Kazuo Ishiguro's The Remains of the Day allow me to learn more about the historical background of English society and how the cultural values were fading with time. The words of the author resonated with me, and I found myself pondering over the reasons for change. There are two words that I want to introduce to everyone in a sentence that I just said. I don't know if you have heard of the word resonated before. If not, this is one that you will surely want to add to your list of vocabulary words to memorize. When something resonated with someone, in my case, as I was reading this literary masterpiece, I felt that Kazuo Ishiguro's words spoke to my heart. Have you ever experienced a similar feeling during reading? If yes, congratulations! You're one step closer to successfully fostering a love of reading. This means the author's words resonated with you, which made you feel a personal connection. To come back to my story, a love of reading made my determination to be an English major deeply meaningful, as it allowed me to connect my all-time favorite hobby as an academic pursuit. In other words, I love what I do. Job opportunities. Have you ever been asked by family members and friends this question? What are you going to do with a degree in X after college? Well, I have. Let me tell you, one good response is to look into the future. What I mean is this. In my case, my decision to study English at NCCU was related to the availability of jobs on the market. I think it's pretty safe to say that many job openings in Taiwan require English proficiency. The higher, the better. Therefore, by pursuing English as a major, this meant many job opportunities, such as translator, diplomat, teacher, to name a few, were possible careers. Before deciding on studying English at NCCU, I had talked to former students to find out what they could do with their college degrees. To my delight, I heard a plethora of answers ranging from editors, authors, professors, international trade specialists, and so on. Do you know what plethora means? Perhaps this is the first time you've heard this word. Let me explain what this means. I just mentioned editors, authors, professors, international trade specialists. Wow, that's a lot of different jobs open to English majors. So, when I said I heard a plethora of answers, this means I heard a lot of answers. Now, do you know how to use the word plethora? Questions or comments? To sum up, it runs in the family, learning how to think, language as a tool, love of reading, and job opportunities are the reasons for me to choose English as my major in college. What about you? Are your reasons for choosing your major similar or different from mine? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to write down any questions or comments that you have for this video. Come ask me face to face when we meet next time in class, during the break after class, or office hours. You can also shoot me an email or leave a message in our class line group. All right, thanks everyone. Let's call it a day and see you next time. Bye-bye. After watching this video on choice of academic subject, academic major, please answer the following 10 questions. Submit your answers to earn 1 point for NPTU's 英文概厉害 activity. 1. Why did the speaker choose to major in English language and literature? 2. What does the term predisposed mean in the context of the speaker's story? 3. How did studying literature help the speaker develop critical thinking skills? 4. What does the word masses mean in the phrase follow the masses as used by the speaker? Why was the speaker's writing class described as excruciating? 6. What are the 4 language skills that the speaker improved by majoring in English? 7. Why did the speaker find the amount of reading in the English major appealing? 8. What does the word resonated mean? And how did Kazuo Ishiguro's writing resonate with the speaker? 9. Why did the speaker believe that majoring in English at NCCU would provide good job opportunities? 10. What does the word plethora mean? And how did the speaker use it in their explanation?